Hamar is in Wimbledon. Hamar, what do you think?
Well, I think he's left the institution, left the country. So it really doesn't make any difference, his approach of coming across and saying, look, this is me, this is my story, this is what I've had to do. He's left. He's left the institution. He's left the country. The only reason he's doing it is because he has to sell the books to make money. And
technically he doesn't, of course, because the advance would have been immense. I very much doubt, even if it becomes the best-selling book in history, that it will actually move into royalty territory. The advance is already in the bank.
Agreed, but this is not going to stop here, is it? He needs to make an income going forward. He can't just stop here with his media.
He's got many other plates spinning. Let me just back up a bit, because I'm a bit confused by your opening. Let's talk about each other. So if you had enormous issues with people in this country, and they had been played out in public and continue to be played out in public, even if you moved to Alpha Centauri, never mind Montecito, even if you died, they would still be writing about the other side of the story, still be portraying you according to their agenda, not your recollections, not your reality. You think if you moved house, suddenly you wouldn't care anymore, or it wouldn't matter to you?
Well, it's my family at the end of the day as well. So it's a combination of whether his relationship with his family.
Exactly. So if you'd been appallingly treated in your own mind by your own family, and the whole world was watching, you think that by moving house you'd somehow not care anymore?
But then, do you think by voicing it in public?
Well, just tell me first. Just tell me first, because you know, we look it through the lens of our own experiences. If you've been appallingly treated by your own family and the whole world was reading their side of the story, you think that if you moved house and left the family business, you wouldn't be upset anymore? That's what you came on and said. I don't know whether you realise that. But
no. I know. I'm not saying that the upsetness is going to. You
wouldn't want your side of the story out there. The whole world is reading. The whole world is reading their side of the story.
But do you think that's going to change his being upset?
Yes, of course it is. Of course it is. He's written how that works. He's explained why it does help.
How does it help?
Well,
taking revenge on his family, or the truth is out there?
Well, obviously.
His truth.
Obviously.
His truth.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like the royal family can put forward their truth.
Well, yes, they can. Prince Charles did a book with Jonathan Dimbleby. Princess Diana did a book with Andrew Morton. They have press offices which are in daily contact with newspapers. Of course, that's the whole point, is that they have full access to the levers of media coverage, and he has chosen to cut out the middleman. I don't know what you're confused about, to be honest.
No, but can I ask, do you think that his book is fully the whole story? It's his opinion and his perspective. And
whose opinion do you expect him? Whose perspective do you expect him to write about?
No, but you're also saying that the whole of the media is also completely one-sided, and you're saying there's got to be a middle ground. I mean, you're saying all of the media is one-sided. It's not all one-sided.
Well, the Guardian is pretty objective on this, but if you wanted to do it in terms of influence and readership, then that's not an opinion, Hamer. That's just counting.
I agree. I'm not saying that the Daily Mail hasn't.
It's not just the Daily Mail, is it? It's the Sun, it's the Daily Express, even the Times, the Sunday Times, the Sunday Express. I mean, the Mirror is not sympathetic. I've got to be honest with you. You might think the Mirror, as an essentially left-leaning newspaper, might swim against the tide of the right-wing newspapers, but this transcends politics. This is about deference, and so the Mirror goes the same way. The Telegraph is possibly even more salacious than some of the cheaper print. So again, we're not going to get away from this central point that because I've heard other people make this argument, and I'm not suggesting for a minute that you've just sort of inhaled it without thinking, but the idea that because he's moved to California and stepped back from formal royal duties, he should somehow not care about getting his side of the story out there, or not care about dealing with his trauma in the public space where he's lived his entire life, is, we both know deep down, ridiculous, right?
Do you think it's also fair that he's written about things that have happened in private with his relationship with his sibling and his father?
Yes, again, because things that have happened in private and have been leaked to the newspapers by quotes the other side.
Okay, so it's a tit for tat. So a personal conversation that he's had with his father is now full game for the whole population.
It's his property.
Okay, so then, effectively any private conversation that anyone has in their family can effectively be private property, public property.
Let me put it this way. Let me help you by putting it this way. Any conversation you have with anybody, you are free to talk about whenever you want, yes.
Okay, I think there's a certain element of privacy that should be afforded to your nearest and dearest.
So did
That's
he.
my personal
So did
opinion.
he, which is why when the newspapers were printing lies about him, he asked his family to intervene and help, and they refused.
Yeah, but the family won't. How do we know the family were actually leaking these conversations?
How do we know they weren't?
Yeah, I know, but it's subjective, isn't it?
Whose perspective can Prince Harry provide?
But right now we know objectively this is his words about private conversations. This is him actually divulging private conversations.
So now you understand why he had to do it, and when you came on, you didn't.
I still don't understand, but
really.
That's
so
my
you
opinion.
think a narrative involving him that is being printed on the front pages of every newspaper in the world is something he should just sit by and allow to unfold without actually trying to correct the record or put forward his own perspective? We both know that's not true. You don't believe that.
I don't think he should not put forward his own perspective, but he's also breaching the privacy that some of his family would have expected from him.
Well, he expected a lot from his family, and he didn't get it. Also, it's a bit. It's a bit. So, what is the line that you think is an appalling and egregious breach of someone else's privacy?
Well, I think stories about his father and his childhood, I think shouldn't have been
What stories? Because you may have been following it more closely than I have.
But stories about his father being bullied. I think that
his father's talked about that himself at Gordon's.
I know, but this is a personal conversation.
I'm going to push you ever so gently on this one. What is the stuff that you think he's revealed that is an appalling breach of somebody else's privacy?
I think the incident with his brother, I think that's private. Siblings
the one when his brother attacked him.
Well, allegedly attacked him.
Okay,
I think
so you don't think victims of assault
private.
should go public?
That's shoving someone, a brother, that he's admittedly has had physical tussles in the past.
Not as adults.
Isn't.
You don't think an adult victim of domestic assault should go public with the allegation?
No, of course I do think that.
Well, it's all falling apart, really, hey. But the more we talk about it, so what's
in a book?
Oh, okay, not in a book then.
No,
so he should have gone to the police station instead.
He should have gone to the police station.
There we go. So he shouldn't have written a book. He should have reported Prince William to the police.
I'll ask you a question.
We started off by talking about how we shouldn't have talked about any of this. I've got to go to the news now. I'm 3 minutes late.
James O'Brien, a distinguished figure in the British media, has emerged as a refreshing voice of support for the Sussexes. Amidst the uproar caused by the couple's decision to step back from royal duties, O'Brien has consistently defended their right to seek a healthier, happier lifestyle. In a recent segment on LBC, O'Brien took a stand against critics who berate Harry and Meghan for their supposed flight from royal responsibility. He reminded listeners of the relentless and often cruel media scrutiny the Sussexes faced, and the lack of support they received from within the royal institution itself. He succinctly put it, "I wouldn't have stayed either." This simple statement resonated with many listeners. It acknowledged the harsh reality that staying within a system that seemed to amplify their agony would have been harmful, not just for Harry and Meghan, but for their children too. O'Brien understands the essence of loyalty. He knows that it doesn't equate to enduring maltreatment in silence. Instead, it's about safeguarding your family, your peace, and your dignity. This is the path that Harry and Meghan chose, and it is a choice that O'Brien respects and defends. Now contrast O'Brien's honest and empathetic stance with the relentless obsession displayed by the tabloid media. They seem unable to stomach the sight of the Sussexes living a contented, flourishing life, free from their influence and control. Instead of acknowledging Meghan's success, they resort to mockery, gaslighting, and twisting every public outing into something sinister. These tactics are a desperate response to a narrative they can no longer control. Meghan doesn't need them for validation. Her influence is evident in her success, her family, her activism, and yes, her fashion. So when James O'Brien speaks up for the Sussexes, we should all take note. He is one of the few who is actively challenging the double standards, the cruelty, and the delusion of a media machine that can't stand to see a royal couple free, independent, and loved on their own terms. James O'Brien, a beacon of truth, wouldn't you agree? But the tabloids aren't the only ones obsessed with the Sussexes. Let's turn our attention to Meghan's undeniable influence. Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, has been making waves, not just as a member of the royal family, but as an independent woman who is unafraid to chase her dreams. From her successful lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, to her impeccable fashion sense, she has left an indelible mark on the world. Every product she endorses, every piece of clothing she wears, seems to turn to gold. Her hat, worn during the family's day out, sold out within hours. Each restock of her lifestyle brand's products vanishes within minutes. A simple, elegant video on her Instagram goes viral. This is the Meghan effect, and it's in full swing. Despite the tabloids' best efforts, the Sussexes continue to thrive. They're not just surviving, they're flourishing on their own terms. They're creating a legacy that's rooted in authenticity, in love, in the unwavering belief that they deserve to be happy. And that, dear viewers, is the true essence of the Meghan effect. So the next time you see Harry teaching Archie to surf or Meghan launching a new product, remember what it represents. It's not just a cute family moment or a successful business venture. It's an act of resistance, a testament to their courage, their resilience, and their unwavering commitment to choose peace over protocol. Thank you for joining me today on Royal Telly. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Chloe, and I'll see you next time.